electricity and a tarmac road was a luxury.
That's for the big boys.
Yeah,
So they maybe
because back when where we were living, the roads will get so bad
that's Maram Road or
it was a Maram road, but when it rains, it was so bad that the buses will not get to the other side.
so you have to swim the other side or what?
Yeah, you
what
just
happens?
have to find your way across and just find another car to the other side. But again, the buses were timed. I know the buses were timed. I know there was a bus called Kamolo, and there was Kamolo number 4, number 5, and Kamolo number 7. And they will operate at 8 in the morning, 11, 2, 5, and 7 at night.
Yes.
We knew where they were, how they were, and how they were moving.
So things were a bit predictable.
Yeah, everything was predictable. We knew when the lights will be on. We knew when the bus will be coming. And there are only buses. And when it rains, the bus will never be there.
And remember, this time actually mobile phones have not catch up. Actually,
there were no mobile
landline.
Phones. Yeah, they were only landlines.
So if someone has to give you a call, you have to wait at the booth.
Yeah, I will see the adults actually. They will speak on a booth. After speaking on a booth, then they set a date to speak again on the booth.
That means if you are maybe your wife or your husband, okay, then mostly it was your husband. Is working maybe in the city or in the next, closest town.
Yes.
You have to make arrangements and know them somewhere actually and be disciplined about it, because if you miss that slot, it's not going to happen for some time.
And can I say something interesting?
Yeah.
So for those who didn't have the chance to use the landlines, they think reverse call is something new.
Yes. By the way,
we used to reverse call.
Yes, for sure.
So you'll reverse call the operator. You request them to call the person you want to call
and charge them on your behalf.
Yes. So reverse calls will actually work through the operator of the telephone switch. Yes. So you dial the operator's number, then you tell them who to call.
Yes. I see.
So that is where reverse call came from. So actually, we even used telephone booths in my high school.
Yes, because I wanted to ask you, most schools actually were connected to the telephone.
Yes.
Even when internet came, because I think 98, 99, there was some very slow internet.
Yes.
In KB, for those who are using gigabytes, buying bundles and complaining that they are finishing so fast. Then the speed was 256 KB.
Yes.
That is kilobytes.
Now that you're talking about that, you've just reminded me, again, another culture shock, but lucky me, it was a culture shock for everyone in school.
Yeah.
The introduction to computers.
Can was
I
it
talk
Windows?
about it?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so in my primary school, we'll do our exams. Then at the end of the term, the results will be pinned on the wall with everyone's results. So position 1 to the last position, and there was a line of shame. The line of shame would actually separate those who have failed from those who have passed. And this was being done in a typewriter by their secretary. So they will do all this and pin them on the notice board. So there was this time that we ran to the notice board and we realized the font are different. Everything is different and everything just looks organized. We could not believe that it was the same typewriter that had done this. So we asked her, really, we were now no longer interested in our positions, and we were like, no.
What happened here?
What happened? How is this piece of paper so clean? Because the typewriter papers were never
Of
white.
course, because of the ink.
Yeah,
And,
they were never
even
just
papers are not
clean
that
white.
quality though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no, just tell us. And she brought her to the office and explained to us what she's working with.
You saw the computer for the first time.
The magic.
Oh, you called it the magic.
It was the magic.
It's still 98 or 99 or?
That was around 99 or 2000. Yes. But again, it might have been the 2000 because we were talking about computers dying in 2000.
Oh, millennium. Millennium was a big thing then.
Yes. The millennium.
Everything will stop working. And there's that movie, Terminator. It has told people the computers will take over the world.
But again, Mike, it's it might explain why I really don't watch movies, because
You don't watch movies at all?
I didn't grow up with movies.
Oh, okay.
It's not something that I comfortably do. If I was maybe if I started this when I was young enough, I would actually embrace it. But at this point, it's probably too late, because I thought watching a movie back in my primary school, I thought that watching a movie was, again, an act of fitting in. I was like, no, I don't think I want to fit in everything.
Oh, okay.
Let me just do my studies and move on.
Okay.
Yeah. So
because that's an interesting perspective. Because also I feel like people like related movies and whatnot with people who live in town and cities.
That's actually the case, because every type of movie that we used to watch was regarded as the movies for those who don't know what they need to watch. Yeah, because back at home we would actually go to our neighbors who had a generator to watch movies from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And now movies from Nigeria, they were very interesting for us. We will spend hours watching them, part 1, part 2, part 3.
You see someone being turned into a chicken.
Yeah, and it was
fascinating.
Yeah. Now, if you do anything
still
wrong,
is, man. Still is.
Yes, it is. But again, you can't express your love for the movie, because it's considered backward. It's considered as a movie that no one should watch. Yeah. So that's probably part of the reasons I was like, I don't think whatever I like, if you don't like whatever I like, then
no problem.
Yeah, I won't really fit in. Yeah.
So you started learning to be your own man, your own self.
I think
and
that came way later on.
So way still you are like, you want to fit in, but
you want to fit in,
but you start eating that, because even access is not that available. I see.
Yeah, so I think we can move to high school now.
Now you are.
I've already talked about introduction to computers, right?
Yeah.
So we see it, we don't touch it, because it has a big screen, and the screen is better. You can
used to be a big thing.
Yeah, imagine you could see something before you print it.
Yeah,
you can literally see the whole list
and review.
Yeah.
Whereas with the typewriter, it was like, if you have a typo, so far so good. You go on, or you just start afresh.
No, the whitewash.
Oh, there was yes.
There was a whitewash.
How did I forget about that?
So you just scroll it up.
What I saw actually from our second, because even when I joined high school, they used to use typewriter a lot. Even I think there are documents that are supposed to be typed using typewriter for obvious reasons. Originality, and it's like writing with your own hand. So they want to do that for that traceability, and also I think also if you type with a typewriter, so I hear, you can trace back like which specific typewriter wrote the document.
Oh, nice.
So it was just another thing that used to happen. So it gave people like forensic people, people who are involved with the investigation and whatnot, to be able to trace fraud. So even document in the bank used to be written using yes.
Oh,
and until even today, you see even some courts using, I don't know if it's a typewriter or something, but they use to.
And most printers are actually, most bank printers are dot matrix printers.
Absolutely.
They're very noisy.
Yes. I think there's a background in it in terms of traceability, fraud, and whatnot.
Okay.
But I know the high school ones were like, what else can we do? Yeah. And secretaries were a really big deal.
Yeah.
To be a secretary.
But again, I also had a privilege of knowing a secretary, befriending a secretary, and this was someone who was actually working at the school that I was with that my dad was at. So she would literally teach me how to type. So I knew how to type in a typewriter back in the 90s.
Yes. Dude.
Yes.
You're the luckiest of the few, Bana. As much as you had all these issues, typing fast is one thing that I consider if you really want to progress in even programming and whatnot.
Yeah.
Typing fast is really important because whatever you do, you can learn and type fast.
Yes.
Right? So, and then figure out maybe the errors later and understand. Like your learning curve might I would say it would be faster than someone who doesn't know how to type fast.
Yes. So another thing that now, after learning how to type in a typewriter, back then, I came to understand the keyboard in a computer way later on. If you look at a shift, when you shift, in the typewriter, literally when you are shifting, you are literally shifting the bar that hits. So you'll use the upper bar or the lower bar. So when you press the shift, you use the upper bar because it was a bar that goes and hits this the paper. If you do a shift, it now uses the upper one and hits it.
That is the caps and the lower.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was caps is now a permanent shift. Caps was now a permanent shift, and there's another key called the carriage return, which is commonly known as the return key, and also known as the enter.
Yeah, chief. Sawa.
So in a carriage return, if you use a typewriter, there was an automatic line feed not line feed. There was an automatic progress of your paper. Horizontally. So it would progress to the end, and you have to do a line feed for it to go next. So if you do a line feed, you move to the next line, but again, you're at the end of the line. So you have to come to the beginning of the paper. So you do an enter, then you go to the beginning. If you look at your enter key, it always points down the beginning.
I think it's the same. Okay, though keyboards have
it's not written there.
This actually has changed. So here instead of enter, it's return.
Return, yes.
So just telling you to return what you have just explained.
You do a line feed, then you move to the beginning of the line. So your
so this is returning you to the beginning.
Yes. So you literally do that with your hand. Sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yes, I saw that. Like, and then
exactly,
and then they start now typing all over again.
Yes.
I mean, that's a good concept. So you started interacting with now the computing on the back end, but you never knew this how maybe
I never knew what it was because she would tell me to do a composition on the typewriter whenever she was not busy. So I'll just spend my time doing typing around the typewriter. I know about the whitewash because every time I will make a mistake, I will ask for the whitewash, do it. But again, now correcting whitewash mistakes was a little hard because you have to hit the exact point. Yes. But again, there was some precision stuff that will tell you where this, I don't know the names, would go and hit. So you scroll up.
That doesn't sound so easy the way I saw them do it. It's kind of complex. That's why actually training as a secretary then was I don't know if people still train as to be secretaries, but it was a big deal then. Secretary, accountant, banker. Yes. Banker are the guys who, these are the guys who are dealing with money, so they had to go to a certain level. CPA was a thing. Medicine. You never had anyone going for medicine. There was no school of medicine, I think, until some...
Like you're talking about careers now, I can tell you about my experience with careers and my in-exposure. Now that the only thing I knew was school, this is still in primary school, and school and back to another school because we used to live in a school. So we would not interact with a lot of people unless they're students or teachers.
Oh, I see.
So now there's someone who's come to school to give a career talk. And now he's asking around, what would you like to be when you grow up?
Yes.
So people give different things that they want to be. And now he asks, who will want to be an engineer? I will see a couple of hands up. Now I'm confused.
What is engineering?
No. I know who an engineer is.
Who is an engineer?
I know what engineering does.
Yes.
And the engineer that I know is someone who fixes cars.
Those are the guys you used to say. These are engineers.
We used to call them engineers. They are the engineers.
But Luos are good with cars, though. Let's give it to them. Even right now in Nairobi, if you're Luo, you want to take your machine to the Luo guy.
Yes, they know what
they must. It's deserved.
And Guess who the pilot was?
Ah.
Guess who a pilot is?
Don't tell me a Bukinya driver, man.
Yeah, the driver.
Ah.
You know, this is something I've never been taught what an engineer is. So I was literally confused in the hall when people raised up their hands.
It was that serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke. I don't know what it is. I don't know what these guys want to be. But
This is in Siaya.
Yes.
My man.
Yeah. The culture shock.
Okay, so go ahead. So what else? What else was like people were saying? Were there teachers there? Were there guys who wanted to become?
No one really wanted to be a teacher. People wanted to be scientists. I remember I said that I want to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a pilot because my brother wanted to be a pilot.
Your younger or older brother?
A younger brother.
Okay.
And my younger brother, I think he really liked doing a lot of things that I could not understand. So,
is he still alive? Or?
Yeah, yes, he is.
Okay.
So when he said he wanted to be a pilot, he was celebrated. So I also wanted to be celebrated.
It was cool. Like you wanted to be cool.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And at that point, my dad explained to us that a pilot is this person who flies planes. Aeroplanes.
Nice. Were you guys like?
Yeah.
I love my dad for this, or
No,
how was
really,
that
because
exposure?
the aeroplane was also this fairy equipment that we will see flying by. We had never seen an aeroplane up close.
Oh yeah.
So it's not anything that you just want to be up in the sky. You don't know what you're doing up in the sky, but you just want to fly this thing up in the sky.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is a big deal to fly a plane up in the sky.
Yeah.
Something that you've never seen.
Yeah.
Unless you're on the ground that it's up, passing.
And what keeps it up there? It was a mystery.
No, it's up there. You know, you're at that point where you're not questioning anything.
So because okay.
Things that are working, they're just working.
Okay.
Because they're just working.
Yes.
I was at that point of, I don't want to ask questions because no one is giving answers. And I'm going to school because I have to clear school, get a job. I don't know what I want to do, but if I try to leave school, then I know who my father is. I know who my mother is. I can't go to fish because they won't allow me to go fishing.
Oh, fishing was a big deal in at home.
We have fish millionaires.
Yes. Say that again.
We have fish millionaires.
People fish until they become millionaires.
Yes.
Large scale fishing or normal fishing?
Just normal fishing, but again, this was back then.
Okay.
Yeah. Nowadays, there
are no more fish, or
yes, there are.
Fish is
not
a big deal.
There are no more fish.
This is new information to me. I'm trying to process. Like, yeah, I mean, so you can't become a fish millionaire right now.
No, you can't. Maybe you can, but you have to be different.
Large scale processing, value addition.
Yeah. And
by the way, let me ask you this, Sigu, because you are more experienced in this. I've been meaning to understand the fishing business in the lake.
Yeah.
Why there is no like proper, fishing processes, also try to breed the fish, the way that, it become a legit business and people could depend on it like fully, given the size of the lake and also given that people already are doing that as a livelihood.
Okay. That's a good one. So I remember in early 90s again.
Yeah.
Back at home, there was a fishermen cooperative society. They even had a lorry.
Yeah.
The roads were bad, but lorries will get to our homes.
Yeah.
And the lorries will actually they will be full of fish.
Yes.
To Kisumu. So if the lorries were full of fish to Kisumu, it means there were a lot of fish back then.
Yeah.
And there was a cooperative, which means people would come together to create cooperatives. So since that there was that particular structure and there was enough fish, people would actually make money off fish.
Yeah.
the government did their best to control breeding of fish. They did a lot to control the breeding of fish. And there were seasons where it was not allowed to go fishing.
Yeah.
I think to date, it's their size of nets that are not allowed in the lake.
Bigger or small?
Smaller.
Okay.
Because they will take growing fish. So the fish need to be in a particular size.
So the what's it called? The size of where there is a
the net size needs to be at a particular size.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to fish the smaller ones who are
then
not
interfere
even
with the
ready to
ecosystem.
reproduce. Yes.
Yeah.
So I wish I knew more about how the government still does it, but I don't think it's as it was before. Yes.
Okay.